M&E, integration M&E and mapping. So we are going to do M&E and mapping stakeholders. We bring the two of them. The other thing, we are going to do a kind of, there are so many systems which are some commercial, some are open source. We are going to do a sample, one of them, a simulation of one of them with an open source platform. So you see the kind of monitoring, when you integrate the monitoring aspect and the mapping aspect, what is the output. So from here, the introduction to emerging technologies in ML. When I talk of need, example we go of monitoring operation, that is
learning.
Yes.
And learning.
What about the second one? The third one? Start to. Yes.
Adapting and learning or something. I don't know.
Yes, yes. So there is introduction to GIS development and more sense. We want to integrate the aspect of monitoring into mapping. You can't work without that. Developing the aspect of GIS and remote sensing. So first thing with this one, we are going to bring in the aspect of pattern and trend. One is the integrating new questionnaire on GPS or on our mobile phone. So the kind of sample we are going to do with our mobile phone. So that is the development of GIS, mobile GIS based data collection system, the collection of writing GPS on mobile based data. So we have the presentation, reporting and simulations. So when you look at these aspects, when you look at the whole system of data collection, we are going to realize at one point we are going to do the data collections. We need to have the paper-based questionnaires. Currently we have the GPS. We can use our mobile phones. We have for the data visualization. We can use charts, graphs, and maps. On data analysis, the kind of software, because of the technology. We have the attributes-based software that can analyze data that is attribute-based, and we have the SPSS, and then we have software that can handle geographically located data. That is how one of them is an open source, the QGIS. So the next one is on data presentation and reporting. We have the paper-based reports and the screens, and the other one is on data dissemination and sharing. So notably, you see the software system that integrates all these files into a single system. So today, emphasis on this presentation is on incorporating the aspect of operation in M&E data management. So, what is it that we want to learn a business on our M&E that we want to do a project? So for a business or an individual to run a successful marketing project, it's good to have a strategic plan for the need of GIS and remote sensing in data collection. So developing and integrating such a mapping is strategic requires a rich portfolio of experts to undertake research to develop the data collection and management system. Here, when we talk of that, we are going to deal with about 5 components of the system. One of the components we are going to do is the people, the experts who understand the new. The other component we are going to handle is the hardware aspect. Because without this laptop, we cannot be able to have power to automate our system or any other kind of. The other thing is the softwares. And then we have the softwares, we are going to have the data which you are working with. And then we have to be able to coordinate all these things, 4 components of another aspect of policies or set of procedures. So here the English is the questionnaire, the component of fire. So I want to just in a brief discuss about this thing I have brought about what remote sensing. I have said this in my area, something to do with photography and sensing. So when we talk of remote sensing, it is where we are able to capture data about the earth without being in direct contact with the earth. You have been sent to go and collect data concerning an area like a hero. How can you be able to interact with a hero even without going to the ground? You can be in the office. You can be able to see some kind of things on the ground from the image, that can give you an idea. So that even if the people have such things, you have a lot of it. Maybe something you are able to see such things. So if someone goes and pick data and it is being streamlined real time to your desk, as we are going to do here, you collect data from where you are, we are going to streamline it and be seen from our screen here. So you can be able to see some kind of on how the grading is being done. So it's an interdependent component of GIS that brings a rich interaction and visualization of ground features. That's the way you can see here outside. That is the capture systems, the digital image and applications. When I talk of radar, this is another system that capture the 3D points. You want to position something like this building where it is. The best thing used is the radar, something that said a streams of signals to the ground to locate the XY. With the component of where in the new data, we are able to allocate the first range of data insight to the right panel. So the second range of data insight will be utilized to attribute analysis. But the first range, you are going to have the locational analysis. So this is basically integration of the whole system that I have discussed. So we have the GPS mapping. Some of you might have connected with the GPS. Yes. So we have the desktop integration where we work on the desktop. We have the mobile phone this mapping. So you can use your mobile phone and utilize the GPS in the phone to get the location data. So on the other side, we have the raster technology. Here we are going to have the central image. The second one is where we can have the maps of the plants. There are some schedule from the 10 years before they automated their system. They used to put some kind of dot on their maps. So you can be able to digitize that thing and get the digital work on that and have it as an overlay on your work. The other one is on the imagery, that is radar and radar. So we have the aspect of using the airplane. For example, for me, I've done work for Kisumu, but I have never had it before in Kisumu. I just came with a flight, did my planning in the office, came with a flight, just took an aerial picture of this area. With a resolution of about 10 centimeters. So you can imagine the 10 centimeter, you can be able then to see some of the kind of these stamps and the dusting. So we could see them from above. So we have the aeroplane and we have the drone. Some of you might be aware of the drone. So generally, for you to be able to undertake all this work in a harmonious way, you need to have something we call GIS system. GIS is a system in a way that you aim to collect data, you store your data, process, present, disseminate, and then you have the application of that used data. So your question here is part of this. We have the aspect of digital mapping, where we can use for our case as M&E expert. You can use the mobile phone and GPS. I preferably say you can start with a mobile phone. It's cheaper. It's what you have. You can use some platforms. One of the platforms that you can use is the GeoDetail. The other one is Kobo. The other one is OneUp. These are open source software, the data collection system. The other one is they have the commercial data collection system. Is a GIS crowd. There are quite a number of them. There are even people like us who have developed our own softwares. We can hire to you or sell it to you, give it to you as a service, and you can be able to see the kind of data. Correct. So remote sensing, this is where we talk of drone, radio, radar, satellite imaging. So they provide the base. You're going to see this one in the short. So here I'm going to look into some kind of aspects because I felt when we are coming to improve our data collection system in the aspect of location, I felt that they are kind of missed. Because maybe you didn't have the resource when you are budgeting or planning for your work, and then you kind of find that you are in a mess. So these are the kind of people you are going to have as part of the marketing team, besides the M&E team. If you are lucky enough, you have this team being conversant M&E, you are good to go because you don't have to hire a large team. So one of them is a GIS developer. So this technological aspect of surveying. So it's a person who applies a combination of surveying, mapping, strategic management, business development, and ICT skills to prepare a geographic information system. The geographic information system is the system we are using to collect our data. So the last one of GIS developer, you can find it broken down into such kind of things. That is the cartographer, this person who prepares some kind of maps, both in hard copy and soft copy. We have a geodatabase manager. When we talk about geodatabase manager, it is just the normal database, you know, but with an aspect of geo, okay? Location. Then the other one, we find a person by the name of GIS programmer. This is just someone who will be able to do some kind of analysis with softwares like R. Someone who has used R? Yeah. So it's a software that we can use in data analysis, inside the SPSS. And then we have remote sensing analyst. This is someone who gives you, if it's an aerial photography you are using or a satellite image to visualize your ground where you want to do your work. This person will give you the correct image. That is well prepared, what we call in terms of location, so that when you collect your data, it will fall in the right place. So another person here is a spatial analyst. I think you can call one equal the same as a data analyst. So we are going to manipulate, extract, locate, analyzing this geographic data. We also use the GPS device to collect the data on specific thing, maybe environment, maybe the data based. The other one, I decided to put this one on the other side because we will not be necessarily in time is an surveyor. But remember, when we are talking of mapping, if you are not in the line of surveying, you need to kind of sort and get some advice. So that if in case you are having an image of an area, once you collect data, you're going to overlay. So if I emphasize more on this, spatial information system, which consists of a number of things as I mentioned, the data, policies, hardware, the software, and the people, and then office do which business development is key. So software components will include the desktop, the web-based, the cloud, the mobile, but in software, this will have the skill and knowledge. The other thing I can emphasize on is on the digital marketing. This is the application of digital marketing, other device equipment, like the mobile phone, this mapping software, and the ODK. These are the common open source that you can just work from where you are. Say spatial analytics, you are just applying some knowledge from the office and you are good to go. So in here, in case you look at need, that is mounting an operation, then they are going to give you application of knowledge and creativity to monitor and give some information, whether it is negative or positive, to help us make a decision. And you will be able to work in the field and also in the office. So here, I would wish to, if you are comfortable, we can do some kind of a simulation with what you have. Yeah?
I don't know, how long will it take?
Just 10 minutes.
10?
Yeah.
And we had allocated you about 10 to 15 minutes.
So maybe that one we can try. I can just show you Directly because the time is not on my side.
Maybe you can just show us, but
So
maybe.
I will just show you something
Yes.
in a few minutes. I will demonstrate this one for Kobo. So Kobo Toolbox is a suite of tools and the field for field data collection for using challenging an environment. So this software is free and open source. The most users are people working in the humanitarian crisis, and I need to professional and researchers working in the developing countries. So I would wish just to, before we go to that one, I would wish to show the kind of system I was talking about. You see, this is a Kobo thing, something developed on the Kobo toolbox. So this is the platform where you work, you do your work, you just prepare a form, a normal questionnaire, like what you do. But the best thing with this one, it has the component of where that thing is occurring. So for me here, I will show something. We have this one for Migori. It's a form that was developed, and then you can see the data. So this is the kind of data that was collected. So if you had in time, you could do that one. You just have the Kobo from the Play Store. Download, you are given, I give you some credentials, you log in, and then this is the kind of data you are going to get. And you want to visualize that kind of data, it becomes something like this. So this is some work. I sent some people to work in Migori. We are going to map some kind of the waters and some other facilities like institutions. So you see, there are different people in different locations. So once you do your work and you upload that form, instantly when you correct, you upload, it will come to my space like this one. So from here, I can see even the way you are moving or the way you are correcting data. And there are some software that have data capability, record decay. It gives you the background of the satellite imagery. Or you can have this work downloaded and have it in other mapping software. You are able to see where did each one of them over on an image. If someone tells you he or she picks a dam, you actually see a dam on the image. So these are the kind of things that I would wish to demonstrate, but because of the time, I will just have to add my brief into that presentation to that. So I'm for room for any questions.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Managitao. Because of time, what we have planned is that the questions will come after all the presenters are presented. So kindly write your question down. Then after all the presenters are presented, we are going to have that question and answer session. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
Yes, that is okay. So actually you have mentioned something very important about GIS and remote sensing. Because you know, sometimes I have heard that people who go abroad and they get a lot of money there. They send money to Kenya here for a project. Maybe you tell your brother, please build for me a house there. And the brother will keep sending you some fake photos there that he has done a house. But with this kind of technology, even when you are abroad there, you can be able to see whether actually that building is being built. Have you gotten the logic of what he is talking about? Yes. That is it. So next, I want to call okay, I want to call Mr. Dennis Wheeler. He will be the second presenter. And as I had said, he is from KEMSA. I know when people hear KEMSA, you may have a lot of questions. Are you ready? Are you ready with the question?
Yes, I am.
So Dennis will talk about use of electronic proof of deliveries, that is EPOD, and he is a business development coordinator. So welcome, Dennis. Maybe you can have a word or two before I project your
Okay. Good afternoon.
Left hand.
Yeah, as you have heard, I'm Dennis Baker. In KEMSA, I'm not part of procurement, but I'm part of. I'm the business development coordinator, and I normally champion also innovation within the organization. So there are certain innovations that we have worked on that are already being used in the various counties. We have that hub that we normally champion to bring these technologies to build capacity. So what I'm about to talk about is an electronic proof of delivery. I do not have my laptop here. It's just on the phone. It's an application that is used by our transporters and the facilities when they are receiving commodities when they are sent to when commodities are sent to the health facilities. So there are certain things that we monitor.
Yes, just a minute.
My presentation was less than 4 minutes. Okay, so the application has been developed within KEMSA. We have a team of software developers, and management information system that is for KEMSA, and they know. And then we among other solutions. So we have built that. We have also we are also building other solutions with support from UNFPA and NCPD. Mr. Zomo, you are aware. Yeah, so there are certain solutions that we have built together with them. And through this support, we have been able now to bring up this electronic proof of deliveries application. And last year, this particular hub won a global award in the Global Health Supply Chain Summit. So we were able to win. We were #1 in the whole supply chain in terms of this particular solution. I was expecting that. Around the solution. So we won this global award, and we were able to stamped and signed. Once it is scanned and signed, it becomes a proof of delivery. A major problem for us to KEMSA. And also we have those documents getting the facilities. We have noted that the commodities are delivered in the wrong. Commodities have disappeared along the way. The trucks zipitia a different direction. So, with all these challenges, we are prone to have major challenges at the health facilities, which is stockouts or overstocking on commodities that we did not want, and then it will lead to wastage. So that is what we have been facing in that particular health supply chain. And with that, it really informed us we really need to reinvent the wheel. We need to go outside our scope and get to see what can we do to enable those result KPIs and these challenges to be addressed. So what we ended up doing, we ended up now developing, automating the electronic proof of deliveries, which I'll just showcase down here. I hope you can see at the file. Can we see that? Okay, so the app is on the Play Store. If you go even right now to the Play Store, you'll be able to get it. You type the word KEMSA on your Play Store, you'll see KEMSA POD, and you download it. Time is up. Okay. Okay.
Someone is
Okay. So the app, once you download it, you will be able to get the login page of the app. It relies on the login credentials that have been allocated in the Logistics Management Information System. So not anybody can use it. If you do not place orders or receive commodities in the health facilities, you cannot make use of it. You must have credentials, and if you do not have, we shall provide. And then after that, we have, once you log in into the application, it takes you to the 3 tabs. With this app, the facilities can be able to know scheduled deliveries, can be able to see what is actually coming. They don't have to wait until they arrive. And that's why you can see we have expected delivery notes and way bills. So we actually, all the health facilities know. For where we have rolled out, they know that this is what is expected. And then the health facility, once the commodities arrive, you will be able to type in or scan. We use the scan model, whereby we have barcoded all our deliveries. So we use the barcode reader. Using the phone, it will generate a reader. Your inbuilt camera that is on your phone will read the barcodes on the respective delivery notes and the boxes. Once you generate that, it will take you to this, whereby now it shows you the order that you are dealing with, and it is for which county, and the transporter, the person who is delivering. There you will be able to check against what is in the delivery note, that is the column, the middle one, against what you are receiving. So if you receive anything that is not in conformity with the first area, you will be able to indicate the quantities that you are receiving. And then we have a section down there where you scan the signed POD. The document that you signed, the delivery note that you signed, you can be able to scan it, take a picture on the phone, pick it up, and then you upload it into the application. And then we have now the details. We also capture the details of the person receiving the commodities, the telephone number, the ID number, and the time when those commodities were actually delivered and the date, as you can see towards the far end. And then you also give your comments. The other important factor of this app is we capture the GPS coordinates. All the facilities in Kenya have been mapped with their respective GPS coordinates. So we have already mapped that, and therefore, if a transporter wants to go and is going to deliver commodities, he has to go to that particular facility and deliver. If they go to another facility, the application will not accept. And then after that, there will be the facility will also finalize by confirming that these supplies have already been delivered to them. So this has enabled us. The key results we have realized from this is we would take 20 to, let's say 45. I've used the lower bracket so that we look a little bit good. We'll take 20 to about 45 days to sometimes to deliver commodities. But with this, it has reduced us to an average of 6 days to deliver commodities to the health facilities. Because of that aspect of measurement of the transporter, we are measuring the time they actually delivered, and it is not them to input, we capture that information automatically when the health facility is actually doing the transaction of receiving. Then the fill rate of quantity dispatched against what has been received at the facility, it has really shot up to 100%. Because this divergence of commodities that are disappearing, because the transporter was bringing the commodities and then you realize you are to receive 100 boxes of amoxicillin, you receive 50. And then unaambiwa wewe andika tu hapo kama complaint. And then because the dispute mechanism does not work very well, then we end up having this challenge. Now, that has been averted in the counties where we have rolled out this particular application. And then the error rate has reduced drastically for the areas of rollout. We have been having major errors which has been averaging 22%. The acceptable I mentioned up there is 0.1, but now while we've rolled out, it has gone to this level. We are not realizing any errors in terms of deliveries. And then it has also enhanced our billing process to the counties and the facilities and our development partners, because now these proof of deliveries that are required to be returned to KEMSA, so that now this document can be used for payment, it's being captured electronically. And we are using these electronic documents to process the payments. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping time. It was very precise. I think we are dealing with a challenge of not trusting human beings. Ile ya kwanza tuliongea mambo ya mtu anatuma pesa lakini nyumba hakuna inajenga, si ndio? Hapa mtu ametoa mzigo. Hapa there is someone who does not understand Kiswahili. Someone is sent to take some delivery somewhere, but the delivery does not get there. You are getting? But with the technology, we are able to track, and you have that proof that actually the commodity was delivered. So si tunaelewana kidogo sasa. We need to leave the manual systems, now we come to the electronic ones. So thanks so much, Dennis, for that good presentation. Now we want to hear from, but I think we are not clapping very well for our presenters. Even the first one, I forgot to. Because we have a presenter who is presenting from outside, he's not in this hall. So kindly, I want to talk to my team here. They tell me whether Are you ready? You are ready? Okay, so maybe you can now. You know they removed the cable without telling me. You see, I was struggling here to do the presentation, but they have removed the cable. So can you now put back your cable? So the one who is presenting is called Stanley. Stanley is from Health Scratch, and he is going to talk about electronic commodity reporting tool, Field Farm. So I don't know whether you can hear me. Are you taking my sound? Is he able to hear what we are saying here? Okay, so Stanley, I hope you are ready.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Stanley,
Okay, I'm
please,
trying to share.
I want now to introduce you and then you take the floor. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. I'm just trying to share my screen here. Okay.
Maybe he is talking on himself. Eh?
Can you hear me?
To himself. Huh?
Hello?
Stanley?
Yes, I can hear
Come
you.
again? Oh,
Can you
yeah.
hear me?
Welcome to this Strat 3.
Thank
We
you.
are talking about automating M&E processes, and we are glad to have you.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
we are hopeful that technology will not let us down because we are talking about technology. So
Yes, I hope.
without wasting a lot of time, I wish to give you the floor. Kindly take over, and you give us your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Because it is telling me that I've shared already.
Just a minute.
Hopefully, I'm not sharing my. Now, what am I supposed to do? Can somebody guide me here? Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. Somebody can assist me here. This is becoming tricky for me. Can you see what can you see? Hello? I'm in trouble here. I don't know what is happening. I can't be able to share my screen. So unfortunately.
Stanley?
Hello.
Yes, what we are doing, we are going to project the presentation you had sent earlier,
Okay.
and then you see you have it on your side, so you can
Y-
proceed. Then we shall be going together with you.
Okay, fine then.
Yes, please go ahead.
Can I start now?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. What we have from Healthstrand and UNFPA and of course with support from other donors like the World Bank and Smiles for Mothers is Qualifarm. Qualifarm is a digitized HEPS DRL. The ones that we use to report commodities from the facilities. It works on um, mobile platform that is Android. If you are using gadgets like our brothers from the lake, then probably you may not be able to use it. So it is on Android, and therefore it can be accessed from anywhere, even away from the facility. So this digitization started way back in 2019 as a pilot study in Homa Bay counties in 100 health facilities. And after the success of the same piloting, we started scale up and roll out in other counties. So the initial rollout was in four additional counties. That was Migori, Isiolo, Marsabit, um, and um, and Kilifi. So the tool is actually an integrated one. All the FCDRs for all the program commodities are in this tool, from FP, HIV, malaria, TB, and of course now the essential medicine that reports tracer health products that is MH647. So from this one tool, you can actually be able to report all the commodities. And again, just to mention, it is interfaced with the DHIS. So once the count, the data is entered from the facility, it is actually submitted to the sub-county pharmacist at the sub-county level, who will review the report and then be able to either reject or upload the data depending on what this is. But it is actually interfaced with the DHIS. So once its data is submitted from this platform, then it goes directly to DHIS. What we were addressing in terms of the problem is, of course, the suboptimal commodity reporting, of course, because of various reasons. And one of the many reasons was um, workload. You can imagine at the sub-county level receiving all these commodities reports from the facilities, and you have other issues to attend to, then it becomes very difficult. And of course, there was a lot of, and there's always a lot of um, transcription errors. And that way, sometimes we get somebody keying in 3,000 instead of 30 or 300. The other issue that we were trying to address is data quality, again, because of transcription, and even where maybe proper commodity management has not been done very well. So again, it has internal validations that actually controls what somebody keys in. For instance, um, the beginning balance is automated, is autofilled. That is. So at the beginning of the use of Qualifarm, then you are supposed um, to do physical count, and that figure that you get for each commodity is what we feed into the tool as a beginning balance or starting balance at that point. Then that will be carried forward, and then of course you either consume it or you add more, and then the calculation will continue. So at one point, if you're not able to report consumption, then there will be an issue because it will tell you that you have more, um, and then of course that would be an issue in terms of accountability. And then, of course, again, I said, as it is integrated, and to, of course, improve
data visibility at all levels, because the county pharmacists can see, even at the national level, if we give you the credentials, then you'll be able to see that. In terms of how it works, that is the model of Qualiform. There's data capture, then of course validation at the sub-county level. This is what I was referring to. Then submission, and of course that data is available at in the DHIS. How does it work? How do you get to access the tool? It's available in Play Store, sorry, and you can download it. And of course, with the necessary credentials that you're going to give, then you can actually be able to access it. So what do you see? I'll just probably talk about the facility user level. As you can see on your right, I think this is right, this left, sorry, we have the facility, and on your left we have the inventory. So you can choose, you have to choose what program that you want to report on. For instance, if you choose HIV, then and click on it, then it will take you directly to sorry, to that program, and all the products will be there, and then you can be able to report on them. So once you click on it, it will tell you to change. Then you key, the values, and then once you are done with that, you can save and submit, and it will tell you that the report has been submitted successfully. At the sub-county level, then they'll be able to see that a report has been submitted, and they will just go again to that specific program. And again, as the reports come, they'll be able to see the reporting rates. If you look at sub-county user process, step number 1, you see again on your left is the reporting by program. So we'll be able to see how the reporting is happening, and even at the sub-county level, and even at the county level. And even if you are at the national level, if you have the credentials, you can see this happening outrightly. You just click on this, and then, of course, be able to approve. For instance, under sub-county user process number 2, you'll see there's a Marabot dispensary from North Hall that is not reported. So they'll just click on that, and it open the report. And the sub-county pharmacists will be able to go through the report and see whether it makes sense. And if there are any queries, then they can always be able to get back to the facility and be able to get the information. And if they're not satisfied, of course, they'll reject and they'll go back to the facility for change of, in terms of maybe figures for it to make sense. But if it does make sense, then they'll just submit it, approve it. If you go to sub-county user process level number 3, where then they can actually either choose to approve it or reject it. And at that point, then on your right, you see the stock summary of that specific product. So it will give you stock summaries per product at the sub-county level. You can actually be able to say, for instance, for oral, combined oral contraceptive, how much a whole sub-county is holding. And if you really want to know where all, for instance, the 101 are, you can drill down to see where these are in the facility.
Stanley,
At the county level, again.
Hello, you can hear
Hello.
me?
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to remind you that you have less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, please,
okay, thank you.
ahead.
And the county user level, the same process. You go to the homepage. Of course, once you're given the credentials to use the platform, and then of course you choose the program. But at that point, you can actually be able to see from this point the reporting rates per program. For instance, if you look at county user process, step 1, Moyale, I think that's what I give as an example. Family planning is at 96%, so that anything above 90 will change to green. and between 75 and 90 will be, I think that is yellow. Those below 75 will remain red until it gets past 75%. Just to let you know that the reporting rates are not up to date for those programs. So the county pharmacists can actually be able to tell which programs are not reporting well. Drill down to the sub-county. If you look at your right, where you're looking at the program summary, step number 2, there is a sub-county and all the facilities that are in this sub-county. And then even the county pharmacies can actually be able to see that the reporting, the type of, how the reporting is happening at the sub-county level, whether the reports have been approved by the sub-county pharmacist, or whether the facilities have reported or not. If it is not reported, then it appears as red. If you look at Marabot again dispensary and in North Hall, it's not reported, so it appears as red. All the others are in blue, so it means they have reported and approved. If it is not approved, then the color would be green. Going forward, I think there's just another counter user level. You can look at each commodity and tell how much you're holding in the county, and even at the sub-county. And this helps you to tell you where the commodities are, so that if there's facilities that don't have or have low stocks, or they have stockouts, then you can actually be able to do redistribution. If you look at stock summary on your right, that is county user process continued, where we are looking at Garissa County for family planning, combined all contraceptive pills. They had at the beginning of the month, that is July, they had 1226. So you can actually be able to know how much you have in the whole county. And if you want to see where those commodities are, then you can dig down.
Can't hear you. We can't hear you. Stanley, can you hear us? Hello?
View closing balance, the days out of stock. I think this is something that we thought was extremely important, so that we can actually be able to know the actual AMC, having factored in days out of stock. And then of course, we can see where the stock out is happening in the county and the sub-county, and take the necessary decision. Coverage. Currently, we are in 21 counties in over 1,338 health facilities. 40 of these are under Smiles for Mothers, and another 330 were under World Bank through the supply chain TA project. Majority of these are supported by UNFPA, that is 1,007 facilities in 12 counties, out of which 5 counties, out of the 12, we have achieved saturations, and that is Homa Bay, Migori, Isiolo, Marsabit, and Kilifi. So I think going forward, we are going to see more scale up in other counties, and I believe that should be happening later this year. In terms of achievement, you can see improved reporting consistency, but for us, the most important thing is improved data quality because of the internal validations that the tool offers. And we have given quite a number of those reporting rates, and that's North Hall, which has done very well. And also, I think also Marsabit as overall, and also in voting rates are by sub-county, and you can see some of these sub-counties are doing very well, even if overall the county is not up to scratch or not achieving 100%. In summary, then, what you can do? One, it is a mobile-based solution for reporting and validating commodity data at all levels. It has built-in data quality features through multi-level review. and approval, out-of-field options, separation of functions for accountability, and activity trail for ease of review. We can actually be able to say who did what within the system. Then it provides real-time commodity data review, the data visibility, which of course will help in forecasting and rational ordering and inform inter and intra-county commodity redistribution. Again, because of the ease of use, it reduces workload. And mainly here, I think the team that has will upload data onto CacheIS. Remember, again, it is integrated with CacheIS so that once data is uploaded, it goes directly to CacheIS. And again, integrated all program products, including EMMS, can actually be reported from this tool. Again, you can work offline, and then once you're able to submit your data, then you can just be able to do that once maybe you get to where you can get internet or network. Otherwise, in summary, that is the tool, and I'm ready for questions. That was a bit fast. Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Thank you very much for that presentation, despite the challenges we had at the beginning. We are very grateful. And,
thank you.
And from what you have presented, we have been able to know that instead of relying on so many manual documents to know the stock inventory of our commodities,
Yes.
comes in place to assist in actually getting real-time data on the
Sure.
commodity levels that we have in our facilities. If I got
Sure.
it
right. You did. That's true.
Yes, thank you very much. Just start by because there will be time for question and answer.
Okay.
And we shall be grateful if you can respond to some of the questions.
Okay, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Correct.
No problem again. Okay, now we are going to have Dr. Bosco Okumo, is my colleague. We work together, and he is going to present on ENIMES, that is our Electronic National Integrated Monitoring and Evaluation System. And I'm sharing as I also do my work. I told you I'm an ICT officer. Say something before we do the connection.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Bosco Kumu. I'm an economist. I work with the M&E Directorate in the State Department for Planning. So what I'm just going to demonstrate to you, we can't demonstrate it in a few minutes, but it's a system that we developed for ensuring that we collect real-time data on implementation of various programs and projects implemented in the government. So basically the system is structured in such a way that if you're following the planning framework for Kenya, then it will serve you well. So if you're using the guidelines to develop the strategic plans, then basically it captures everything in the strategic plan. And if you're using the CADP guidelines, then you are good to go with the system. So the system is, provides a real-time dashboard with traffic lights showing the level of implementation of various programs and projects. Now it's web-based. You don't need to buy a server. It's web-based. We only need to create for you an account, and each and every county is in this system, and each and every ministry is in this system. And also create for sagas. It's based on demand. NCPD are there, we have KNBS, and they use it to report. Now the only thing is that they need to be updating data on a regular basis. So when you want to go to the system, you just go to inimes.go.ke. The website that was launched yesterday, I think it has a link for it. You can get it from there. But if you type inimes.go.ke, it will take you to that. You can use a phone. Now the system, we've also enhanced it in such a way that it captures the GIS coordinates for each and every project. Now this time, we also have an app. Paul can tell us where our app is, because we should be having it on Google App, yeah? It should be there.
We have the app.
The app is now ready, so you don't actually need to use a laptop. And the app picks automatically, like the way you used to do the copy for sensors. When you open it, and then the first thing it captures is the GIS coordinate for that project, is when you go to the next level. That one was done with support from UNFPA. And we've also done a module for ICPD. You have the ICPD 25. We decided to do a model for them. Now, if you log into this system, the first point is normally you find that it does that. So when you click that, you actually go to about Inimes, it will tell you about the story about Inimes. But if you click ministries or county, let's for instance take a county, you find that all counties are in the system. All of them are there. But now, for instance, how are counties performing in terms of implementation of various projects or updating the system? If you scroll up, you'll find text. Slowly, there's a graph here that gives a summary for counties and ministries. There's a county here. So if you're looking for your county, you can see how counties are performing in terms of updating. So this thing changes each and every minute as they update the system. Then the numbers increase. So the projects that we have captured are those numbers that you see there for the counties. Apparently, counties are doing much better than MDAs. So you come and do MDAs. In fact, some MDAs are high and some are low. So you've had that. The only thing is that MDAs are so many because you also have standards there. That is why that graph is so wide. But this one is a public you can view. Now, for instance, if I click on counties, you know this one is not public. You are just anybody because we're not going to the system. Now, each county is here. We have all the counties you find are here. For instance, I can click on this here. When I click on Busia, it gives a summary of all those projects. But now, the good thing about it is also, you can actually showcase. I think Busia is trying to replace it. So, these case studies are success stories. You find that Busia, maybe they could have done an ultra-modern market, bus stop, so they can actually give you a story. Now, the only thing with this county is that they know how to do a story. The story that they should be putting here is actually giving us the initial problem. What was the issue? And then what you came up and did to solve this particular problem. And now you tell us that we used to have this problem, but now because of this, we've moved now to this and this is how we are now operating well, generating this amount of revenue as proven before. So there's a story that they can do. There is only that now it's another class again for taking them through the stories and all that. Ministries can also do the same. If you click ministries, you'll find ministries and salaries. So your county, you can actually go in. This is a public dashboard. You can actually go in and see your county, what is there, whether your county is not performing. You can see we have a DFGM, we have a Center for Mathematics and all that. So all those are in the system. The only thing is you are a government entity, just come and request for login, then we take you through how to use the system. But now let us go to login and see what is actually there. So this is an account for the State Department for Planning and Login. Now you can't log in if you don't have the credentials, we are to create the credentials. Now this system has different level of users. There's an executive. An executive is somebody who sees everything, like a minister or a PS. So he sees each and every department, how they're doing. But if you log in as a department for maybe ICT, you don't see ICT. But there's a boss of yours who sees ICT, admin, health, all those. Now the most important part, I don't know if you will see that, but when you look at this account, this for State Department for Planning, now it is structured in such a way that the first part in this system you get in, you first develop the master configuration. The master configuration is just how is the department structured. We have different parts. So if you click, for instance, here, you'll find that it gives you the ministry structure. County structure is also here. Counties have 10 departments. They create them. And now if you look at this, you see we have monetary information directorate. That is where we come from. So when you see a yellow folder, that means it's apparent. Apparent means it's like a bigger one, but there are several directories within it. So the smaller one, so reporting level is a directorate. But when these reports come together, they form one big report for the entire ministry. Why I was relying on strategic planning, because now we do our planning, we do the vision, then we do the MTP 5-year medium-term plan. Each and every state agency goes to the strategic plan, the define the strategic plan, then they go to work plan. So that is how we structure. Then counties also come CNDP, they go to ADPs, and they go to work plan. So once you create this particular structure, then it means now you can assign users to a particular directorate. So if you're from health, then I assign a directorate. And if you log in for that health, you will only be seeing health. But if there's a boss of you at the top of you who operates health and maybe medical services, then you will see all of them together. Now that is the user. Then there's somebody who's called a supervisor. So supervisor is the one that once you enter information, he verifies and says, okay, that is correct. Then if he approves it, it goes to M&D. M&D, for instance, of the ministries is called the CPPMUs. M&D at the county is the M&D unit of that planning and M&D unit. So each and every person, each department, directorate will send to the chief officer, then they submit to M&D when it is the true position. So once you create that structure, this one is already created. Yeah? Then you do the implementing agency. So this part is basically, you can only do it once in every time that executive order comes out, because the executive order comes and it changes the entire structure for the department. Now the most important part for us again is this part of strategic planning. This part of strategic planning is where we have the sectors. So here is where you enter the strategic plan for the ministry. We have the MTP framework, then we have the vision, the priority sectors, and ICPD 25. Now the most important one that I want to show you today is the ICPD 25. I promised to Nadia that I'll show you what we made different now. Like how can you track ICPD 25? So ICPD 25, it has commitment, that's 17. This one was an addition that we came up with. So this first commitment one up to 2017. Then you come and describe them. What is this commitment? So you'll see here we describe and say commitment 1. Commitment 2 is eliminate, prevent maternal something, health and all that. So once we describe them like that, then what are the objectives? Remember how we do ours is like each and every commitment, it comes with objective. That objective leads to the outcome. So what is that objective? So that is how they are linked. Then you come to the activities. So these are activities are the ones that we try to enter in with the ICPD implementers. So each you'll find there's an activity, then it leads to that particular output. And then you have the output. You'll see how it is structured later on. So for the ICPD, it's just the users now to start using it. But now let me take us to the strategic planning aspect. So for the strategic planning aspect, remember the strategic plan captures everything that you're going to do in the next 5 years. So you first do it, then is when you now go to your work plan. So for instance, I can look at this one. This is the current strategic plan for the State Department. So if you look at it, this particular point in time we captured ICP 25 because we have not created the module, so that's why you see it here. So it's basically structured in terms of the outcome, what are the outcome indicators, then you use the key output, and then your output indicator. But now when you go to the work plan now, we go now, because work plan captures smaller ones, you'll see how again we disintegrate the work plan. So at this point in time, you're still doing the planning, work planning. So once you do the strategic plan, which is 5 years, then now you come to this particular point of, you create that part of work plan, stroke project. So here is where you enter the work plan, which is an annual one, and then you also enter the various projects that you have. For State Department of Planning, we don't have the projects, but you can open a work plan. 2020, this one. So now you look at how it comes. You start with the program, the objectives, then the outcomes that go in the strategic plan, then the key output, and then the activities that we have. Remember, those key outputs are major ones, but now there are smaller activities that we start, then leads us to the outputs. But that one is at our work plan level. So we can capture each and every level of the results framework to ensure that we don't miss out on anything. So it's also structured. That's the same way. So you can actually download this one into a particular, even Excel or Word. Then the other part is now this part of projects, though we don't have projects. You can actually add a project. Now this part of adding a project, and then there's an offline capability. So in this part of projects is where you'll come here and say, there's this part where you're linking it to GIS. So this one you'll type automatically because you'll type because you are not, you're on the system now. But all you can come to the map and expand and actually narrow point to it if you can manage that. Then you are told whether you want it to be visible or not. Visible means it will appear in that part of success story, the case studies are there. So you can actually restrict it to be not visible so that the public cannot see it. But then again, this is the part for the linkage. Because most of the time people ask us like, how can I generate Big 4 projects? So this one is a new addition again, we took advantage of the support. So we came with, does it fall under the Big 4? You can actually, later on in generating a report, you can actually run for the Big 4 and it captures everything that is under the Big 4 for each and every department. Then to the post-COVID ERS, then of course we are looking at those climate change. That time we used to have those thematic areas for climate change. So we're also looking at that. Then the part for gender mainstreaming and of course the WASH. The WASH you captured in UNICEF was interested in it. They were thinking like, can we actually generate a report for WASH under that? So once you enter all those projects, then you can also actually add a success story. A success story is something that you're proud of. For instance, Tomboya Labour College now, I think, if you are here 5 years back and if you're here now, you can actually say this is a success story. Once you do that, then there's that part of performance contracting also, but we try to avoid it because there's somebody doing performance contracting, so we don't want to talk about performance contracting. But it captures how we do the government. So for them, they can actually automate it from the system. Now after that, there's this part for reporting. Remember, at that point in time, you've actually captured all projects. So the first phase, you've done the planning. You've captured your MTPs, you've captured your strategic plan, you've done your work plan, you've captured your projects. Now this system again, there's an administrator for each and every state department or agency. He can actually restrict you now. Once you capture everything, they can actually kill the rights to edit, kill the rights to delete. You're only enabled to view. Remember, once you do, because if you enable them to be editing and changing anything, then they'll be changing goalposts every time. A year ends and they know that they're not on target, then they revise those targets. So once you kill them, you just wait for them at the reporting phase. So at the reporting also, you can also decide which rights you want to give them. Now, at this point, the first step is normally to go to this ongoing report. You first update the status. So each and every report, so you can come actually to work plan or project, for instance, I've clicked project. Then you can just say, I want to add the project progress. Now it's like you're from the field, you are not having a mobile phone, you've written things on paper, then you now come and select. So which project? We don't have a project. So if you select the project, will the other one. Any other information that you've captured before, it will bring it on board. The only thing that will be remaining to report on will be on the implementation and how much budget has been consumed. Now, there's this part where the system will actually bring the traffic light. The traffic light is based whereby when you are above 100, you're in the blue. When you are between 100 and 75, you are in some green color there. And when you're in the red, it means you're below 25, you are in danger. So how is it coming? Initially, we used to have MDAs just saying that is 100%, we've done complete. But now we are factoring 3 issues. We are looking at the cost element, how much have you consumed? What is the level of implementation, which you give us 100%, we are okay with that. But then you also look at the timelines. If you have to do a project in 2 years, and you've done it in 1 year, then your score is 150, it gives you a weight of 150. Why? Because you've cut it by half. And if you use 2 million and you use 1 million, it also cuts it by half. But if you use 2 million, you use 2 million, you use 4 million, then you're now costing the government, it cuts you to 50%. So even if you give us the implementation status to be 100%, the cost and the time factor will actually pull it down. So that is how it computes. So once you put all these, the gray ones will be automatically updated from what you had captured before. Then from there you can actually prepare monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual reports. Then the other one for the indicators, you can actually do the same. So basically, these 2 modules, the most important one is that part of reporting. But then there is this part of review and improve. It means that any information that you enter in this system, there's somebody who has to verify that you've actually done it. So your supervisor will look at, before that thing goes to the public, we look at that information and agree like, okay, this is the true position. Or we are doing, go and revise it. So under that, you can actually, there's work plan, review and approval, then you see the supervisor, review, and then review. So supervisor is now like the boss ahead of you who verifies that everything is transferred, moves into it, and then sends it to the dashboard. Then from there, now once you do that, then about when I was talking, is it going to be big 4? When you come up with it, you actually put them together there. And from different agencies. Basically, that's a summary of this system. So it's long. I'm trying to do it in 20.
That's about 15 minutes, not 20.
Oh, okay. So I think back to you, Chair. I was just trying to give an overview of the system because most of you here have interacted with it and they're using the system. So for the ones who have not interacted with it, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give thank you for that round of applause for Dr. Bosco for that good presentation. You see, we are not behind them. We also didn't confront as a minister because we want to make sure that people who are in the counties and the other ministries are able to report to us what they are doing. Because as you know, we launched some books. We do a lot of publications. And for you to have a report, you have to get a lot of information. And this system is helping because everyone now in counties and ministries has a platform to input what he or she has done or what a county has done or a ministry, and then the system is like able to now combine everything and you're able now to produce reports. So you can see how technology can assist us in even coming up with reports, like more progress reports. So I don't want to say much, but this time I want to now invite all our presenters to come and take the front seats so that if there is any question, clarification you want to get from this presenter, we can do that. So kindly, our presenters, request you come and take the seats in front. I'm hoping you had written some questions somewhere, and now I want we take this time now to get the answers. So we don't have. Do we have? Should we start with one presenter? If you have a question, you just ask. So who has a funny question to start? And you say your name and where you come from.
Thank you very much. My name is Professor Charles Rambo from University of Nairobi. Yes. First, I want to appreciate all our presenters for a very good presentation. And we are able to learn some of the innovations that have really come up. I call them innovation because those are ideas that have not been there, like coming up with a, we call health farm, something, feel what? Field farm, and something like, surveyors, the gentleman from the survey coming up with, those are very good innovations, and of course, CHEMSA. Now, I just want to, first of all, I just wanted to get to know from Dr. Bosco. The Directorate of M&E, the ministry, is the mother ministry for all the county governments. And of course, whatever you have developed is supposed to be cascaded down to the county government because it has come from the national government. I just wanted to get affirmation that this has been cascaded down to the county level, and quite a number of people working at the county level in the M&E department has already been probably trained by the national ministry through the Department of Directorate of M&E. That's that one. I would get that for Dr. Bosco. Now, on the side of what we call CHEMSA, I have two questions that I would like to get, but the second one will depend on how the first one is answered. Now, you have come out with an innovation, which of course is supposed to help in how the product or whatever services you deliver in time as required. Now, did you come with this after the problem that came with the CHEMSA or before? after or before. So maybe that one, if you respond to that, I can ask the second question. Maybe I'll start with you because the one for the other two presenters, I don't have a question for them, but I have a question for the two of you. So maybe I'll start with you.
Yeah, as I indicated, we have an innovation hub, and this idea was brought about after the August 2020. You well know the scandal.
Thank you very much. He has answered me, so the second question cannot come because you have already answered. So I believe that that's an innovation which is very good after the problem has come up. Now you have something to solve the problem. So thank you very much for that. So maybe let's go back.
Okay, thank you. So as for the system, that is why I started during the public. There was a graph that I was showing how counties are trying. So we rolled it out to, I think only 3 counties. We've not rolled it out, they never came. So we rolled it to around 44 counties. We trained each 3, at least 3. So we agreed that they are going to be the TOTs. So that is why most counties you see now they are changing. We also done this to MDAs. So we also did this to MDAs. So last year we tried to do for all the MDAs and now the counties. Now the part that remains now is demand driven, whereby if somebody wants some support, then they ask like, you guys come and help us in this and this. But that's why I was saying counties are doing so well compared to MDAs.
Chair, I think well answered, and I can believe that everything on the right track. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that question, and thank you even for getting that feedback that you have been well answered.
Exactly.
Okay, someone else maybe? Okay, please say your name.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Joseph Warwembo. I'm a planning officer in the State Department for Interior. I'm stationed at the National Police Service. Once again, those are very good presentations, and it shows how effectively we can employ technology to solve some of these reporting issues. Actually, as planning officers, that is basically what our work revolves around, reporting all the time. So about the systems, I have only just 2 issues. One, that is basically on all the presentations, the level of cascading, and 2, duplication of the functionalities. So I think, from my judgment, most of the systems are guilty of duplication, and then for cascading, I'll have, because that's where I am, ratio of cascading for the in-ness and the easiness. So on duplication, I saw that from the presentation by Kersa, which was very good. When we had the other one online, we're talking about getting data from the health facilities, and we're basically the same thing. So I don't know whether you are trying to draw synergies by collaborating, so that whatever they are doing or whatever you are doing, maybe you can come up with a better platform, because I think your end users, from my interpretation, are basically the same. They have the facilities. But what I liked about your system is that on the level of cascading, I think it's very excellent because you are talking with the real end users, that is the health facilities, and you're getting data from the last person who is using the facilities. And that brings me now to the other issue of cascading for and even for our government systems, of which maybe Daktari Bosco is also aware that we have other systems that have functionalities of maybe performance contracting, like GPRS. We have others that are collecting project information, like the Presidential Delivery Unit. Also, where can we get the synergy so that even us who are expected to be end users do not have to report on this system and then maybe give the similar information in another system. Then the level of cascading, especially for the government system, you have talked about now they're uploading the strategic plan. You said for the ministries, sagas, and the counties. But you see some ministries, like especially where I am, I'm Interior, I've said that it's so wide. So we usually have a strategic plan for the ministry as a whole, And then when you come like for the NPS, we also have a strategic plan. So I don't know what is the level of cascading, because even when you come for automating the performance contracting, which is already automated in a way, they will require that, I think the only performance contract they upload is for the ministry. But now for the different departments, for that wide ministry, they expect now us to give them manual reports. So if this cascading of that system could be such a way that information could be captured at the lower levels, such that the system, I think the system can be very intelligent to aggregate this information in order to come up with the report for part of what the system is expected to do is being done manually, and then it is only automated at the high level only. Okay, asante. And then one more a bit of a question. The level of confidentiality. Like for the NMS, me coming from the NPS, we wouldn't like to share everything to the public, everything that we have. If you are able to provide a cascaded system, that everything we put there is available to the public. So I don't know whether, how you navigate about that.
Okay, thank you. We thought that we keep our questions a bit brief because of time. Who is going to start? Because I think the two of you.
I can start.
Okay.
On the duplication. Just been presented. The electronic proof of delivery only focuses on the delivery system. So ensuring that we deliver those commodities to the facility. It ensures. But the quali-farm that has been presented by Stanley focuses on consumption data. This is the data when the commodities are being dispensed. We aggregate that information at the end of the month, and that is the information that is taken into the quali-farm system at the end of the month. For us, it's anytime we have a delivery truck going to deliver a product, we capture that timestamp and everything, because that information is not captured by the quali-farm system. It's not there. So there is no duplication at all.
Okay, thank you. So, let me start with the SPs, the strategic plans. So NPSC is like so in the system we treat any saga, any commission like a ministry now. So we can just, so your SP will just fit also. We will not put you under Interior. Interior will only be the State Department for the Ministry of Interior. But then remember, in Ministry of Interior has several state departments, so each state department goes on its own. Then that's why you're seeing KNBS, you're seeing NCPD, you're seeing anti-FGM board, and there. So that one is something that, the only thing now is that you need to liaise with the Interior, TOTs from Interior we have. I think the Mukui and Lucy, and Rose, yeah, and Lucy. Then the level of confidentiality, that is where the system, there's a place where it says, do you want it to be visible or not? If you say visible, yes, then it will be available to the public. But if you say no, then you restrict it. That is where, so the two options we gave, initially we used to leave it open. We were saying that there was nothing like visibility. Then some county MCA said, we want those things to be seen. So we said, let's give two options of yes or no. So that one is there. Then in terms of duplication, when developing the system, we tried to be a little bit avoiding more of duplication. If you use, for the PDU is a different. Remember, PDU is a presidential delivery unit, which comes and goes after some time, especially with regime change. So counties, you may find this service delivery unit, PDUs, governance delivery unit. So for them also, that is why we've had that challenging discussion, like we are trying to discuss and agree, like, where can we come so that we don't bombard people with so many systems of reporting, but it's something work in progress. The good thing again with the system is that it can be integrated with other systems.
Okay. I think you have answer? Yes. Okay, we have to be just sensitive this time. Next question, please. It is from Lydia. We are trying to have now you are letting me down. Yeah? There's a someone has a little one. Don't let me down, please. Gender sensitive. There is no question from our sisters here. Okay. We have another question
Vincent. I'm from State Department for Wildlife. I have a question for my colleague from KEMSA. We appreciate the new technology, and we've seen the benefits. Thank you for that. You said that it was rolled to some selected counties. I wanted you, maybe you mentioned which counties are this and how many counties out of the 47. Then the next thing I wish to know is, as you're rolling out this new technology, were there some challenges, new challenges that you faced in the process? That's the second. And thirdly, assuming you had 5 challenges in your old system, has this new technology solved the entire 5, or it has solved maybe 3 out of 5, or maybe 8 out of 10? So what extent of your old challenges have been solved? Any new challenges? So because you also have new technologies we want to roll in our MDS, we wanted to see how you deal with new challenges as you progress.
Okay, we have managed to roll out to about this is Makueni, Machakos, Kilifi, Mombasa, Isiolo. How many are those now? 5. 5, eh? Kwale. And then we have done, on the eastern side, we have done Embu and Nyeri, and also up to Isiolo. And on the eastern side, we have done Uasin-Gishu. I was about to say Eldoret. Uasin-Gishu. Now, on the challenges during the rollout, yes, definitely we faced some challenges. We were able to see at that level, not everybody has a smartphone. Not everybody has a smartphone. Some, not majority, some have the simple phones, and therefore this drew the spanner in the works for us. So we are currently and almost finalizing the USSD one version for those facilities that cannot use an application. But we are also encouraging them to advance, because now those types of phones are becoming sorry to say, a hazard in the environment also, because of radiation. The technology that is currently now, if we continue using those types of phones, you expose yourself to more radiation than the current phones. So that is one of the aspects about those phones. And then, so we are encouraging, and also in the same spirit, UNFPA has been very supportive to provide even tablets for each and every facility. So we have been able to roll out to about, where we have Qualifam, where we have that system that was presented by Stanley, we are using the same tablet to receive commodities, to receive now the commodities that are coming in. So that one has already really helped, but for sustainability, we are encouraging people to go into new technology, use of Android phones or iOS phones, so that they can be able to leverage and benefit from the use of this technology. That is one of the challenges, among others. The other challenge that we realized when we were rolling out to almost the second county was the issue of offline mode, which we addressed, whereby we have an offline mode of the application. So you can transact, and then the moment the phone intercepts some level of internet, it transmits that information to us. So that one we addressed. And then of course, yeah, those are the 2 main challenges that we faced. The challenges that were addressed, there were numbers. As you looked at the presentation, there was the issue to do with error rate. was tremendously reduced because we could see commodities are being taken, commodities for another facility being taken to another facility. So creating a lot of errors. And then it solved the issue of responsiveness. Nowadays we respond based on the information we get from the app. Because now the app is relaying that information back to us on a real-time basis, and we have a standby customer service team that is focused only on customer complaints management. So any issue that a customer has, that is normally addressed at that particular point. So the customer complaints management system is now operational. Before, we were more focused on shipping out. We want everything out of our warehouses, missing out the concept of customer relations. But now the customer relations bit is taking effect, and that is what is helping us regain confidence within the public sector in terms of commodities management and service delivery. So that.
So this is another question on this question. Is there any possibility of the system delivering the app delivering the message that something has been delivered when there is air delivered?
That is not possible. Remember, the person who will do the entry in the app is the facility. So therefore, if they received the air, they are purely responsible. So you entered what you received. So we have your time, we have your details. Remember, we are capturing all your details, how you received everything. So we know what you received. And then lastly, one of the challenges that we solved was on the issue of billing. We used to have serious challenges of billing our development partners and even the counties, whereby we send our invoices almost 45 days after delivery. And for us to send those invoices, we have to attach delivery notes that are signed by the health facilities. We have to attach against the invoice. But now with the app, the invoice is scanned and it is uploaded. So we know this, it's for this facility, for this delivery. So they are all attached. By the time the transporter goes around and supplies and comes back to us, we have already aggregated all the proof of deliveries. And that process is minimized tremendously. And then now we invoice within 10 days, the county has the invoice. Yeah.
Thank you. I think I wanted to ask the same question you asked, because the system is very good in terms of documentation. Yes. There is proof of documentation that you can tell a certain facility actually the one that process the documents. But there is that issue of a lorry coming from Nairobi, going to a certain county, but halfway they empty the drugs, and when it reaches to that facility, there is none, and they collude there, and they do the documentation so well that you believe that actually the commodity go to that facility. But you know, system keep on growing. You need to think about there is a warehousing system, whereby even you can weigh the truck before it leaves your place. You know how many tons it is carrying, and by the time it is arriving at that facility, there is a weight bridge which is connected to the system, so that you can be able to tell whether the tonnage has reduced. Also, there is about you see like the seeds. You buy seeds from these people who sell seeds like Kenya Seed Company. There is a place you scratch to make sure that you can even send a message to know whether actually it's a genuine product. The same you can do. You can try to see how you can automate those type of things. Whereby maybe there is a scanner which can read a certain package and report on how it is. You can think about it. Thank you. that was just a suggestion on how you can improve the system. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Maybe a follow-up from what you're saying. Since the gentleman has said they're only in 10 counties, how soon do you intend to roll out to the other counties, since I want to believe that the challenges being faced in the other counties that are not yet automated, they are persisting. So how soon do you intend to roll out to the other remaining counties?
Yes, we intend to cover all the 47 counties within this year. By the end of this year, they should all be covered.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? Yes, what it is now? Okay now. Thank you.
Okay, my question goes to
Your name and where you come from?
My name is Felicitas from Murang'a County Government. I wanted to ask if the e-NIMES tool has got a way of analyzing the data so that we don't have the quantitatives only, as that lady was asking yesterday that the presentation looked more quantitative without answering the evaluation part of it. Like the example she was giving of building houses, people have been now made to have homes, poverty is reduced, like that. If that tool has got that feature.
Doctor, did you get a question? Yes. Okay, please you can respond.
And also if it is also rolled out to the county.
You're from Murang'a County? You know Juang?
I do.
Okay. Juang is your administrator. Now, Ojuang and there's somebody from Governor's Delivery Unit. I don't remember his name. I think Joseph. A big, yeah? So it's in Murang'a County actually. Murang'a is one of the 44 counties. The system has a visualization part, so it can actually visualize the data also. It has a visualization section, so it can visualize the data in terms of graphics, as you say. And now it's fully reliant on just the indicators, remember?
Yeah. You have been, when it collects the data, it is able to like put it in terms of charts or tables so that it can be more informative. Yes, more informative.
So the problem that is raising, I don't know whether I had it wrongly, is more of the interpretation of that in terms of qualitative, is it? Information. Qualitative information from quantitative. Is that the issue she has raised?
In fact, stretching it further, Bosco, is the question of that NIMES has the capability to capture non-quantitative information data alongside. So as we input the numbers, does it give the opportunity to give a narration that can be part of it?
Exactly. That's the issue.
So the narration, under the part where you enter information on a particular media project, when you're going to report, there's a part where you now give, there's a box for remarks. So that way you can give the stories of all that. Yeah? And it also actually the way we report in the APR, you'll find that we give. So the information we gave yesterday in terms of the implementation of APR, Big Four, they are more of quantitative, but there's a narration below it, whereby when you say it's 40%, then you give a story like this 40% constituted this, doing this. So the bigger report, if you go to the website, it is not just figures. You'll see figures, then there's a long story that. Yeah. So you will see, like we're talking about improving, food security has improved. And then we'll tell you that food security was improved, but it was driven by, maybe there was milk, we did, you find, so in our report, you will not find that it's only agriculture that is contributing food security, even KDF. We will tell you that KDF has increased production of meat. I think that is, they are paying farmers within 2 weeks, and the meat they're producing is excess, you know, those ones, showing how KMC has now changed. So you'll find, we go to roads and railways, KDF has done the rehabilitation of the meter gauge railway. So we also capture them there. So there are normally a lot of stories behind it. It's only that you cannot present the entire PR in a slide. So you only take the key. It's key.
Thank you. I think I only take one question. Okay, your name and where you come from?
Jack Odiwa from NYS. And I want to reiterate that the manpower behind meter gauge railway rehabilitation was purely from NYS. We were doing supervision work.
That was a clarification. Thank you very much. How many questions? Because we are supposed to break for lunch and there is another group coming. So we have to like.
I'm just feeling like the other, my good friends are there has not received my question now, so I need to.
Maybe he was very clear in his presentation. Okay, please proceed.
And it's really straightforward. Career as a top, my name, MID research, manager, that's fine. I think it's exciting. What you presented is exciting. And implementation that will require a lot. What I wanted to find out is whether your system also has the capability of documenting or capturing real data on activities and output. Because like the Cobo box that you gave us an example, they are largely survey tools. So I'm asking myself, when you're involved in programs, projects, and you want to have your teams from different levels or different parts of the country inputting information on the activities and the outputs, is this system able to help with that?
So if I respond to that, that one is the system. Even the open source system, you can do that. Yeah. And if I can just add something on what was saying on having the data from different sectors combined into one where you can be shared. So currently there are some bills on survey bills and policy which are in Parliament. So here we are trying to have the policy and the bill capture all the spatial data into Kenya National Spatial Data Infrastructure. So what we did, all mapped data with the location is supposed to go through the National Hydrographic and Mapping Authority, is something that is proposed in the bill, and the other one is the County Director of Service, something proposed in the bill. So all these data will be shared through that channel, and then it will be shared through KMSDI. This is a portal that captures the spatial data. It's from here. If you are from the private sector, you can have your location, your data with the location shared in the portal. Then if you need to from the portal, you're getting your royalties. The only thing I don't think it was captured in the time we are preparing the bill is concerning the locational aspect that is captured by the system like one from KEMSAT. You see the delivery and those kind of things, the system is generating some kind of locational data. We are not, don't think we are able to capture that into the system so that you can buy it from there.
Thank you. I think please allow me not to take any other question because of time limit. So I want we give our presenters, our 4 presenters, a round of applause, please. So can we prepare our hands? Who will lead us in appreciating them? Someone who knows how to do it very well. I request because actually we also want to appreciate UNFPA. I know they have been funding these kinds of systems. We appreciate so much. So kindly do that.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. And Stanley is still online. Yes. He presented on the Qualifam tool. Which one would you like to go for? I can see it's about to rain, isn't it? So we are going to do the manyunyu, ndio mvua Mungu atubariki nayo, ndio tukishamaliza tuwapatie wote wanne, sivyo? Haya, tuanze kutayarisha. Nafikiri tutaweka kachumbari kidogo. Hivi sasa tunaelekea lunch, tuweke soda ya Fanta. Ni ya Fanta ama ni ya Coke? Yes, right. Tunawapatia kachumbari. Na ingine gani? Tunawapatia kasamaki kidogo, tuko kisudala. Nini ingine tutaongezea pale? Kapilipili kwa mbali, alafu tutawapatia ya kumaliza inaitangwaje? Ya kumaliza inaitangwaje? Pizza, hapo bana. Haya, tuwapatie moja, ya pili, ya tatu, ya nne. Haya, wote wapokee.
Thank you.
I would also like to appreciate our rapporteur. Maybe you can start and say your name so that people can know.
My name is Rosina Komboka. Rapporteur for the session.
Okay, my name is Bennett Mufirieke. I was rapporteur from Central.
Good afternoon. My name is Wako Galgalo. I was rapporteuring for the session as well.
Mariza, I'm Paul Kibera. I'm an assistant director ICT. come to Treasury Building, please say hi. Now, thank you very much. Enjoy your lunch. Another copy.
That's